which is embarrassing.
That little step ball change is a killer. Every time I see it, I'm like, what? Like, well, not that any part of that is remotely like flattering or good dancing, but yeah. I'm Paul Mescal, and today we are going to be watching some scenes from my career.
I've been thinking about New York. The offer.
What about it?
I don't know, I keep imagining you being there. Writing.
It's so weird watching this back, actually. I haven't seen this in a couple of years now. This was actually a reshoot. I think it's long enough now that 5 years have passed. So yeah, we picked this up about 2 or 3 months. This is like 2 weeks before COVID actually hit. I just felt like they wanted to close the show in a different... I never saw what the original cut was. There wasn't big shifts with what existed on the page. It's probably a slight shift in performance from me and Daisy. But I can't really remember what we did the first time. But I love this scene, and Daisy's just extraordinary in it.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
No. That's true. I mean, you'd be somewhere else entirely. You'd be a different person. And me too.
She's just so extraordinarily present in this scene. And I just feel like they represent, both of them represent all of the young people that I kind of know in kind of certain shades. I just feel like they are kind of just so brilliantly drawn. They feel incredibly modern. It's like you could transpose these characters from Ireland to American to any society where there's young people trying to navigate the world that they're living in now. And I just feel like that's what audiences latched onto.
I'll go.
And I'll stay. And we'll be okay.
I flip-flop on this the whole time because selfishly, like, the romantic in me is like, would love Mariya to say, yes, she'll come over to New York, but it's frequently not the way the world works. It's also incredibly romantic that I feel like their relationship will stand the test of time, whether romantically or not. That their relationship feels solid enough that they can be in separate places and love each other. I think it's beautiful.
Last night, time for a dance?
I don't dance.
Sophie.
I never ever dance.
Okay, I'm dancing with or without you. I told you, I love to dance.
Dad, stop.
Which is embarrassing.
That little step ball change is a killer. Every time I see it, I'm like, what? Like, well, not that any part of that is remotely like flattering or good dancing, but I mean, it's just so well directed. Like Charlotte's work there in terms of presenting us with this moment for Sophie that she remembers her father so clearly, and then cutting to like Sophie as an older woman kind of visiting his kind of inner life is so wonderfully clever with Under Pressure. Is kind of perfect, I think. Rather than showing somebody who's depressed, what I wanted to convey was somebody who didn't really know what was happening to them. Like, I think he has a suspicion or knows that he's depressed, but he's refusing to kind of acknowledge that openly. Or he's not going to do that with his daughter. I think there's moments in the film, like when he spits in the mirror, he's aware that Sophie is describing something about herself that he recognizes, and he's maybe feeling a sense of guilt that he's passing that on to her. But I think it's much more interesting to see somebody fighting against their mental position or something along those lines versus somebody who's like succumbing to it. And you get a couple of moments when he can't bear it, but humans are like great survivors. Like, they try and find a way through it as painlessly as possible.
What? Come on. Ready? Let's dance. Hands.
Look at Frankie, like her face, like, yeah, perfect face. I remember seeing Frankie look at me like that, and it's just so gorgeous. She's like a consummate actor. Like, she's got charisma like falling out of her. I feel very similarly to the actors that I got to work with on Hamlet as well. It's like these children who are extraordinarily talented actors on top of the fact that they have that like freedom of being a child and not feeling kind of a pressure to be good or bad or indifferent. There's just this kind of joy about being on a film set and getting to inhabit a character. And I think Frankie, to my mind, has given like one of the best child performances I've seen, full stop. What was so gorgeous about a scene like this, and why I think it works, is that the feeling that we see with the cutaways to Callum kind of in his more internalized state didn't exist when we were shooting this. I was constantly trying to hide that from Sophie and Frankie, so this was just like total joy, and my job was to try and embarrass Frankie with my dad dancing. I love Callum. I think it's upsetting to see somebody wrestling with himself like that and trying to connect to his daughter. It might sound perverse to say that it was actually incredibly cathartic to get to shoot the other side of it, like the kind of strobe lighting section. I spent so much of that film hiding things from Frankie, and in that moment, when he's sitting on the bed and these moments, you really get to not show any, but you get to release something or let the feeling kind of rise to the surface when, for I would say 90% of the film, you're trying to hide it.
What are you doing down here?
I came to find you.
Andrew Scott, hands down, one of the best performances I've seen in recent memory. Just putting that out there. First and foremost, he's just like somebody who is perpetually playful, and I know that sounds, actors are constantly talking about playing, and that it kind of sounds cheesy, like we just go to work and we play. I don't think that's true the whole time, but Andrew is somebody who I think has just a wealth of experience, and I think a confidence in his artistry, and is able to just have a kind of technical proficiency, but then just gives us the gift of like opening himself up for us to see everything. And I think, especially in the kind of last half an hour of this film, he just like totally removes layers of skin and just goes, here, you know, it's incredible.
It's okay.
It's not okay though, is it? I was so scared that night. I just needed to not be alone.
This is a tough sequence for Harry. It's like, I never really get to play people who are like kind of more front-footed. And for a lot of the film, Harry is like a little bit loose, a little bit kind of like sexually forward, kind of man about town. And then this is probably the only scene where we get to see who he is, what damage his family have done to him. He's dead. Spoiler. Like, if you were to describe the scene, it's like a ghost knowing that his dead body is in the other room and the person that he loves is standing in front of him. It's like a pretty compelling context for a scene, I think.
I'm in there, aren't I?
Let's just go upstairs.
No. I just need you to tell me, okay? I can smell it. I can taste it in my throat.
It was towards the end of the shoot. I felt like I knew him, but I feel like something semi-consistent in the jobs that I end up doing, where I feel like there's a lot of pressure that lie on certain scenes because of that thing that I may be interested in, which is kind of hiding certain things as much as possible. But then oftentimes in, say, an Aftersun All of Us Strangers or History of Sound or Hamlet, there's critical scenes where it's like he's showing how he's feeling now. And I think he's kind of shown his hand that like he can't pretend to Adam that his life is any different. He's now got to acknowledge the fact that his parents have caused him a huge amount of damage and that he's dead in the next room. And he's lost, and it's I feel a great deal of sympathy, but also like it's really a scene about like grief and tenderness in conversation.
How come no one found me? Where was my mum and my dad?
Oh. I found you.
No, but Adam, I don't want you to see me like that in there.
You're not in there. You're not in there. You're not in there. You're here. You're here.
With everyone, it's interesting. We just came from Telluride, and Andrew was there as well with Blue Moon, and lots of people, every demographic of society, came up and wanted to talk about this film. And I don't think it's actually just to do with sexuality. I think it's dealing with two different generations of gay men in the world in this, but also beyond that, it's dealing with somebody who's dealing with grief surrounding their parents. It's also dealing with somebody who's grieving the fact that their parents never really existed to them in Harry. Regardless of where you sit in terms of like what generation of man or person you are, it seems to have a strong emotional effect, and it's such a gorgeous feeling to receive that from people when they come up and be like, this had an effect, because that's kind of the remit that I feel like I want to like protect and preserve. Is like you're making this for people to hopefully have an emotional response to, or like process things. Like it's that thing Ethan Hawke said about like misquoting the idea of like we only look to art in like moments of crisis, or like when a parent dies they'll read a poem and they'll cry, or if we can make films and people can have some sort of cathartic understanding alongside that film, I mean that's, if I can continue doing that, I'll be a happy man.
Lionel Worthy.
What department?
Boys.
Well, fa la la. Composition.
I didn't think people around here knew songs like that.
Well, they don't.
It's one of the things I'm proudest of in terms of the finished film, the endeavor that it took to make something. I learned so much about the industry within it. I made like one of my best friends in Josh and Oliver. I mean, like, it's kind of a huge film for me in terms of where it sits with everything else for my life and career.
This is a hobby in the summers, collecting tunes, ballads, songs.
Reminds me of home.
What draws Lionel to David is the fact that he's sitting in a bar in Maine and he hears across the Rocky Mountains. Like oftentimes in film you see that shot of like the protagonist looks across a bar and sees the person and falls in love with them. Whereas this is the opposite. Lionel is facing the other direction and he hears this song. So what the film is fundamentally trying to say is that like he's essentially falling in love with David's like artistic taste. There's a familiarity in there. Like it doesn't feel like love straight away because it's not. It's a kind of companionship, a shared love for these songs that then flourishes into this romantic story. But it's not as simple as that, and that's what I loved so much about this film. It's like really hard to pin down. It's not like a traditional romance, but it feels like incredibly romantic in certain sections, but it's actually about, you know, that feeling like when you're sat in a bar with somebody and you're obsessed with the work that they do. Like there's nothing more attractive to me than somebody who is like, who takes pride in their work or is speaking passionately about like, I don't know, if somebody was to speak passionately about that wallpaper, I'd be into it. And this just so happens that they share a common interest, and I think Lionel gets such joy out of the fact that he has one up on David here, that he knows a song that David doesn't. Josh is so like chameleonic to me. He's got this kind of like ease, and I know like I've watched him for years and years and years now, and this is like one of my favorite performances of his. I just think he's so magnetic in it. He's doing a thing that I love in performance where it's like he's showing us a veneer, and I'm kind of suspicious that I'm being shown a veneer, but I can't pin it down, and I know that there's so much pain and hurt going on, not because I know the script, but because he's doing that thing that I just love watching, where he's like, he's just kind of hiding his performance in little like cracks of his face, and like, it's gorgeous.
Oh, come on, let's hear it.
Oh, no.
What key? Come on, what key?
I don't usually sing like this with
With what?
with everyone talking.
Oh. Excuse me.
No.
Quiet,
No,
please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
A lot of the references that we were sent through, we worked with not a singing coach, he's an incredible musician called Sam Amadon, but he sings in a similar style to this. I suppose the accent has to, like, if you're playing a character, the accent doesn't stop when you start singing. In your head, at least, it carries through. But I kind of had been thinking about this song for so long that I would never really sing it in my own accent when I was practicing it.
Don't sing love songs, you'll wake my mother. She's sleeping here right by my side. In her right hand, a silver dagger.
Lionel is going to be always searching for David, but I also, like, there's a truth in what I find is so beautiful about the lines that what Chris Cooper says at the end about, like, but we did meet. Like, I think we can get hung up on this concept of love being permanent and forever, and it's just not. Like, some people are so lucky to spend the majority of their life with the person that they love most, but the film is exploring the fact of, like, what if your first love is your great love? Does it reduce it if you only have a love for a year, 2 years, 6 months, in this case 1 summer? And I just think that is the most beautiful thing, that, like, we have such a capacity as human beings to, like, impact each other in, like, summers, days, weeks, months. And I think he is always looking for him. I think he misses him dearly, but he's also incredibly grateful. I think that's, like, kind of the way you can think elegantly about these things. I don't feel like as a young man that I can do yet, but, like, it's gorgeous to hear what Chris Cooper says, because that's kind of fundamentally the way I would love to live my life, is where you can look back and not regret things. Thank you so much for watching.